Hare Krishna. Namaste. Chapter 3, which is entitled as Karma Yoga. Sloka 11. Devān bhāvayatānena te devā bhāvayantu parasparaṁ bhāvayantaḥ śreyaḥ param avāpsyatha. These are 4 questions that we need to understand the answer. Let's go again, one question at a time. The first question: how does the yajna make one achieve to receive the wealth? Answer: the yajnas are performed towards certain devatas, demigods. These demigods are Krishna's limbs or parts of Krishna's body, and Krishna is Paramatma within these devatas. Since these devatas are part and parcel of Krishna, Krishna, who is pleased by such yajna activities, bestows the benediction through the devatas as a result of the yajna. So it is not the yajna which directly gives the benediction, it is the devatas who gives the benediction. That's the answer for the first question, which is, how can yajna make one achieve wealth? It is the devatas who gives the result. The second question: how does the yajna, which gets finished in just few minutes into ashes, can bestow a result in future? Answer: it is not the yajna that gives a result, because yajna is achit. Achit means unconscious. It's not conscious, it's unconscious. But the person who is being worshipped through this yajna, the devatas, are the one who would give the benediction. The question might ask, then why one has to do yajna? Well, it is to please the devatas and show our gratitude towards them. There are some means, and these are the tools that have been given by Krishna to us to show our gratitude to the devatas. And also these devatas live longer compared to the yajna that we perform, which will be finished in 30-40 minutes. Therefore, the devatas can give the benediction to us. The question again: how does the yajna, which is short-lived, can give a benediction for me who is going to live longer than the yajna that has been performed? The answer is, it's not the yajna which is giving the benediction. It is the devata who is pleased by the yajna, turns towards them, who lives longer than this yajna and than us, will bestow the benediction to us. So there could be another question asked within this as a sub-question. But even the devatas has an end. At one point of time, their life also comes to an end. In that case, who will give the benediction if that particular devata doesn't exist anymore? The answer is, it is the antaratma within the devatas who gives the benediction. That is Sri Krishna. Krishna is not a post, and he never has an end like the other devatas. Therefore, he is the one who gives the benediction, even if the devata doesn't exist for whatever the reason. That's the answer for the second question. Moving on to the third question. The third question is, the understanding is the moksha is achieved through God realization, Brahmajnana. If that is the case, how can karma that we are doing is going to give moksha? Because when we do a karma, it's going to bind us further into the material existence. Therefore, it seems to be contradicting statement from what Veda says, that Veda says jnana gives moksha, whereas here Krishna says your yajna will give you param avāpsyatha, give liberation, give moksha. How is that? Seem to be contradicting. So the answer to this question is, as long as one doesn't get deviated and get attracted to other lower material benefits, and they are fixed in what they are doing, that is to please the devatas or to please the Paramatma within the devata, then that is considered to be as Jnana Yoga, which means it requires a greater vairagya. Vairagya means determination and detachment. It is detachment from being attracted to the other material needs. Therefore, if one performs in this consciousness, and that person is working in the platform of jnana, knowledge, and that knowledge will give him moksha, which is guaranteed. So the last question as part of this sloka that we've been discussing, how can any yajna that we perform can give moksha, because most of these yajna are meant to satisfy material desires and needs. Putra kameshti yajna, vayavya yajna, and so forth. So how can these yajnas can give moksha? Well, the answer is yes, one will get some results by doing this yajna, and these results may be for satisfying certain material needs to keep the body and soul together as long as we live in this world. And whatever the material things that we get out of this yajna is certainly going to be meant to drive one towards the moksha, and it's not going to divert one from that path. For example, a person who does yajna as a side benefit, he gets good food, and this food is certainly needed for this person to maintain his body, but he's not going to be settled with the food. His higher goal is to attain moksha, but the food is also needed. If he is not going to get the food, then that person will not be able to focus on anything. This is just an example. There could be many such things that might come as a benefit by doing certain yajna. But the performer should not get attracted to these things. Rather, he should set his goal to attain self-realization or moksha, but utilizing what he got through the yajna for the purpose of self-realization. But in other hand, if one expects, I'm doing this yajna, I want to attain moksha or self-realization, by doing this yajna I will get some food, and I'm wishing that I'll get a food with high class ghee, butter, thick milk, wonderful preparation, where I can sit in a private theater room in my house and watch some movie, etc., etc. And none of those things is going to be achieved, because those has no connection towards self-realization or moksha. Rather, it will lead one further into material attraction and pulls one down into samsara. So the 4 questions that we saw are to understand how there's a cooperation happens between the mankind and devatas. The man performs a yajna to satisfy the devatas, and the devatas are being satisfied and gives dosing that's needed for the people to perform their yajna. So in this way there's a cooperation between both the parties, and the end result is śreyaḥ param avāpsyatha. They both will attain the highest goal, the moksha. devān bhāvayatānena te devā bhāvayantu vah parasparaṁ bhāvayantaḥ śreyaḥ param avāpsyatha. Namaste. Hare Krishna.